What a wonderful way to start with our music this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, and my pronouns are she and her. We're so glad that you're with us on this very special Sunday today. If you are visiting us today, we hope that you'll take a moment either online or in person to fill out a visitor's card so that we can continue to be in touch with you and to tell you more about who we are and what we're doing. And today is the first Sunday of the month, so after our service at around noon, we'll have an opportunity right by these doors, unless it's pouring rain, and we'll find another place, to have those who are ready to make the commitments of membership sign our membership book. Before we start, I want to do a couple things, because this is a very special Sunday. I want to invite those who have been teaching through our religious education program. Indigo and Marina just hosted a brunch, a little celebration, but we want to have them just rise or raise a hand so we can just say thank you to them today. So we are so grateful to have our teachers to honor today. Thank you. Thank you. We do have coloring sheets themed to our flower communion at the back of the sanctuary. So if you find yourself fidgety in any manner and need something else to do, please feel free to go back and get one, and that will be a wonderful thing because we have something we're going to do with them after the service. So if you do complete one, please find me after the service. Also after the service today, and because of the rain, our alternative space today is the Borton Hall, where we're keeping the doors open and have people very spaced out. So if you're over in Borton Hall, let's all wave to our folks in Borton Hall too. We're really glad that they're here and that they will be participating in our communion today as well. So after the service, we're going to have a chance to share a little ice cream and say goodbye to Tristan Thielman, who is moving on to other opportunities after 8 years of being on staff here. And you can also contribute to a monetary gift that we are collecting to honor Tristan. You can put Tristan in the memo line of your online donation or check. Today, we are celebrating our flower ceremony. And if you're at home and you haven't had an opportunity to even think about it till this very moment, I invite you sometime in the first part of the service to go outside and find a flower or an interesting leaf or twig or something. If that doesn't make sense, just imagine one or draw one, because we want you to be part of this as well. Next week on June 12th, we will have a musical showcase and kickoff for our Closing the Gap Fun and Mini Auction fundraiser. And we will be having details for that this week, so watch for those. After this service, if there's someone in your heart who isn't physically present today, please come back in and select one of our extra flowers so that you might drop one off for them today and they can be connected as well. I have a few folks that I want to make sure get a delivery, so if you can do that, please see Michael or me after the service and we'll give you a name and address. Also see Michael or I if you are in need of a listening ear, special care, or financial support. Asking is a gift you give our community, and welcome to this special service today.
Good morning. I am Linda Russell, a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church is a welcoming faith community, and we start our services by reading our mission together. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. Welcome to today's service. We're glad to have you with us either in person or online. Today is one of our favorite services as we do our flower communion. This unique UU tradition is a way for us to celebrate hope, which is particularly important this year with all the things that we have experienced across this nation over these last few weeks. We also have our bridging ceremony, which is our opportunity to celebrate our wonderful youth who are leaving our community and high school. We invite everyone to join us for our virtual congregational meeting at 1 o'clock today. The board made the decision to have the meeting virtual as we had little on-campus involvement at the forums that we presented in May, but you can view the recordings of the forums online. This is a meeting. You should have received a link. Members should have received a link to join today's meeting. This is a meeting in which members vote for next year's budget, as well as the slate of nominees presented by our nominating committee. We need a quorum, so attendance is critical. Please plan to attend this uniquely democratic process that is our key to self-governance. Welcome. It's good to be together.
Thank you, Linda. And let's, because we won't be able to do this in person at the annual meeting, let's just thank our board president, Linda Russell. All her work. I will just say one little piece about that probably I should have said today is that if you don't have access to a computer but you do want to attend the meeting, please see Sharon Solstice. Where's Sharon? Over there. And we have an arrangement for a way that can happen as well. So see Sharon after the service. Amazing board. So now it's time to greet one another, and you can say something flower related, like, well, you look like you're really in bloom today, or whatever. Anyway, go to it. Go, let's greet each other.
Good morning. There we go. So good morning. My name is Ron Anand, and my pronouns are he and him. And I'm going to light the chalice this morning with these words. Our flower ceremony is a celebration of the good things of life as given and received through the fellowship of a congregation symbolized in the giving and receiving of flowers. Norbert Čapek from Czechoslovakia began this tradition June 4th, 1923, so 99 years ago yesterday, and celebrated this every first Sunday in June. In our congregation, this is also the Sunday we celebrate our annual meeting, a manifestation of the freedom of religion that we hold dear.
In our community, we come together across generations to recognize important passages in our lives. We gather to welcome babies among us, to mark the joining of lives in marriage, and to celebrate lives lost to death. In this same way, we take the time today to mark the transition from the space of youth into the larger canvas of adulthood. So in that spirit, I ask those we are welcoming to new adulthood and their parents to come forward.
Just right in front here. Thank you so much. No, we'll stay standing. That sounds great. And I speak as part of the ritual, but I am also speaking as a parent here, as one of these youth, as mine as well. We are here to acknowledge that a time of growth and change has come, that your journeys among us is different now. And yet others here have been youth who took our values into the world, and they are your link between where you are and where you are going. I invite those among us who are themselves young adults or lifelong members of our faith to come forward at this time. And we're going to create a bridge, and the tradition has been to use arms, but we are doing something slightly different this year. We're going to be using our pool noodles. So we'd like everyone who is a young adult or have been members of our faith, meet Marina over here by the pool noodles, and she will help organize this bridge of transition.
So I have a question for the parents here, because we want to acknowledge that this is a time of transition for you as well as our youth. Do you stand ready to support these amazing young adults as they venture into their own lives, understanding that their choices may be different from yours, and yet also reaffirming that your love and support is a constant they carry forward into their lives? If so, please say, "We do."
We do. I will now read the names of all those we are welcoming to new adulthood. Some of us are with us today, and others you will see in weeks to come. But we're going to honor them all. Lucas Onnen. Aiden Carter. Estelle Lewis. And we would like to honor those who could not be with us today. Sage Hagerstrand, Treon Gunny, Nigel Deach, Nicholas Tate, and Stella Waterman.
In our service of child dedication, we give each of the children and babies a rose from which we have carefully removed the thorns, and they've been taken off as a symbol of our wish to make their way smooth. So we're going to give you a rose today, and I can tell you, I did not remove the thorns, but we live in the world we do, and I believe these have been genetically modified, so they have no thorns. But we did not do that, because we know, as young adults, you will grasp life with all its difficulties and sadnesses, along with all its joys and beauties. So we believe that you are ready to be empowered to meet life's challenges, and we honor you with this symbolic gift. And then Indigo has another gift for you as well. Go this way. Here we go. Estelle, thank you.
Welcome, Aiden. Welcome, Estelle. Welcome, Lucas.
Our final gift is this, the affirmation that you have the continued support of this congregation. For though you may leave, we will continue to journey with you. We welcome any of you who wish to join us as you move forward, if you're staying in the area. But most of all, we want you to know that you will live here in our hearts, and that anytime you need us, we will be here. And now let us hear this question that Indigo has for us, the members and friends of this congregation.
So this is for everyone. Do you pledge to be with these precious young adults and to assure them that we remain here as an enduring circle and to whose comforting embrace they can always return.
As they walk through this bridge, let us recognize with gratitude the journey of these talented young adults.
Come on
Yeah,
back.
going again. Yes, yes.
Now we will invite everyone to find their seats again. Wait, oh,
So this is new to us. We'll sing through it twice. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Let us open our minds to seek what is true. Open our hearts toward one another, and may we walk in peace. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Let us open our minds to seek what is true. Open our hearts to love one another, and let us walk with thee.
Let me just mention that we're going to have cards out for our to honor our young adults, including the ones who aren't here today. So if you, I'm not quite sure where they'll be, it'll depend on the weather, but somewhere out that way, just look for Indigo. Indigo will be somewhere there, and we hope everyone will take a moment and sign them. This is a very special service. It's one in which we do mark the youth and their journey and name our own inner journeys towards clarity in what is a morally muddy time. One in which we unwrap a precious heirloom passed down from one of our most foresighted ancestors. The first time I experienced the flower ceremony, I was in my mid-20s. My life was moving from being unbearable to tolerable because I was discovering the power of community. I picked out my flower, and then I gave it a ride home, sitting on the seat next to me. And then when I was back at the house where I lived then, I gave it a spice jar for a vase, and I kept it near the space that I was just beginning to experiment with meditating on a regular basis. And even though it faded and got a little wilted, which, by the way, I was glad I did not give you the instruction to greet each other as, well, you look a little wilted today, so we did not do that. It was part of something, this flower, that was larger than I was in a life that was a little unmoored at the time. During my decade plus in that congregation, I rarely missed this particular ritual because sometimes I would bring flowers that I had grown or from the bushes near where I lived, the various residencies I had at that time, 5 or 6, I think, during that decade, and sometimes purchasing them, though I came to realize that actually, in the service over time, it was the bouquet of faces that I cared about more than the bouquets of flowers. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to celebrate this ritual in a number of different communities, and that common connection to this uncommon ritual never fails to make me feel a little bit more connected to us as a whole, as Unitarian Universalists in our tradition, and also with all people of goodwill who have that hope that we can continue to strive to make this world a better place. A celebration of the joyful and the beautiful, even in times of hardship. That was Maya and Norbert Chapek's vision. It's fitting for this particular year, isn't it? The joyful and the beautiful in the face of hardship. They were looking to find rituals that could hold that sense of promise and possibility beyond words, the way that the elements of their Christian liturgy, which Norbert had left behind when Maya and the children introduced him to Unitarianism, used to. He wanted us not only to celebrate ourselves, he wanted us to celebrate one another, and something that's even beyond what we can know in our relationships, which is why our trying and striving is worthwhile. Still, in this service, in which we celebrate the next travels in the lives of our bridging youth, Let us be honest and name that these accomplished ones are not the only ones wondering what we do with our one and precious life, as the poet Mary Oliver said, in these particular times. Many of the ways that used to bring a sense of purpose may seem less powerful in these times. The events of the world, and especially the events in our nation in these last weeks, make us wonder sometimes where we find that beauty and joy. And yet Norbert Chopek's gift through time has a message there as well. You see, this beauty-filled, love and joy-filled service was written at a time when fascism was rising in Chopek's nation. And as we are experiencing now, what once seemed impossible now became reality, and eventually Chopek would lose his life because of his ability to remind people of their power to act. He was seen as too much of a threat. He reminded people that coming together and honoring themselves and one another, people who were old and young and from many different life experiences, is important. And he did this at a time when some people were saying that only one kind of life mattered. As storyteller Janine Grossmeyer put it, these flowers, and look at those, aren't they beautiful? These flowers are like ourselves. They're different colors, they're different shapes, and different sizes, each needing different kinds of care, but each beautiful, each important, each special in its own way. This is a message for our times, almost 100 years later, and may we recommit to it. Come, let us worship together.
We invite you to rise and body your spirit. Let's join in singing our opening hymn, Sing Out Praises for the Journey, 295 in the Great Book. Sing out praises for the journey, pilgrims we who carry on, searchers in the soul's deep yearnings, like our forebears in their time. We seek out the Spirit's wholeness in the endless human quest. Look inside your souls, the kindling of the hearth, while pilgrims do find the Spirit always restless. Find it in each mind and heart. Touch and hold that ancient yearning, kindling for a newfound truth. Stand we now upon the threshold, facing futures yet unknown. Hearth behind us, wayside hostel, built for those who knew wild roads. God, we hear their sacred embers carried in our minds and hearts.
So this is the place where I am going to invite us all to connect with our spirit. And we're going to begin by just connecting with being here present. It has been a long week for some of us, and we're going to invite us, just because there's a few of us that might want to do this. I'm looking particularly at the choir. No, let's just wiggle out whatever we need to wiggle out, right? Let's just get settled in. Yeah, there we go. It feels good to do that, right? Okay. And then maybe we want to reach up, stretch a little bit, stretch something. That's good. And then if you feel like it, maybe you can just feel your feet really on the ground, or really on the ground there. That's good. That's good. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to invite us on this important Sunday, part of this legacy inherited from Dr. Norbert Chopek, to create a time to remember the inheritance of those who faced life with all its joys and milestones, all its unknowns and challenges, and embraced it anyway. So however you best can do that inward search inside yourself, lower your gaze, close your eyes, do that. And I'm going to invite you to picture the faces of those you love who have given you something that you are glad that you have, some truth, some piece of knowledge, some demonstration of love. If you are at home watching us with someone you love, look away from the screen and look at them now. If this is not your first flower service in participating, take this moment and picture the faces of the people who you have celebrated this service with in the past. In this last year, we have lost some who would always be here with us. Let us bring into this space a sense of accompaniment, a sense of being together, a sense of connection with ourselves, with the others around us, and with something that's larger than any of us. And as we do so, let us hear these words, adapted from Norbert Chopek. In the name of Providence, which implants in the seed the future of the tree, and in the hearts of people the longing for living in love, in the name of the highest, in whom we move and who makes the parents and the siblings and the cousins what they are, in the name of sages and great religious leaders who sacrificed their lives to hasten the coming of peace and justice, the beloved community on this earth, let us renew our resolution to be truly family to one another, regardless of any kind of bar which estranges one from another. In this holy resolution, may we be strengthened, knowing that we are the Spirit's family for one another, that one Spirit, the Spirit of love, unites us, and may we together, through this service, endeavor to be part of creating a more joyful and more perfect life. Amen.
So where we're seated, I invite you to sing our meditation song. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. Let's sing together. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we again. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Good morning. My name's Sharon Solstice. My pronouns are she, her, hers. What a morning. Congratulations to all of you who bridged, and congratulations to your parents. Flower communion, and I hope you'll all be at the congregational meeting this afternoon. There are so many reasons to be there, not the least of which is that not having a quorum is not an option. But what I want to say this morning is a few words about gratitude. I had an opportunity recently to attend a program on gratitude, and the premise was that when we choose to feel gratitude, and it is a choice, we allow healing and we open our hearts to joy. And so I was thinking about the many ways, the many things I have in my life for which I feel or can feel gratitude. And, you know, a short list of the no-brainers is my family, my friends, my health, my nephew's kidney transplant, the day after tomorrow, prayers are welcome, and also, of course, this blessed community. Now, I did something last week that I haven't done. Oh, I'm embarrassed to think how long it's been since I've done it. But I got a piece of paper and a pen and an envelope and a stamp, and I wrote a thank you note, and I mailed it. But what surprised me was what that did. Expressing that gratitude in such a concrete way intensified that good feeling that I had. And so I have a challenge for all of you, but especially for any of you out there who cherish this community the way I do. And so that challenge is figure out a way to express your gratitude. And to help you meet that challenge, the ushers will now come forward. join me in the dedication of our offering? To the work of this community in transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
We want to invite the choir to come forward. And while they're coming forward, just a word. We started working on this piece of music in January of 2020. To be used for a special celebration service in March of 2020, which, well, we all know what happened. So we instead went ahead and did this as a virtual choir piece. Almost all of the people who were on that recording are now in front of you. Except for one, the organist. The organist works for a large church in San Francisco and, of course, couldn't be here. So, in lieu of the organist, I taught my computer to play the organ for us. But so when you start hearing the organ and see that there's nobody there, well, you'll kind of have an idea that there's not anybody there, but the organ's playing itself. So this is Paul Holly's Alleluias.
What an amazing gift to receive this morning from the choir, the band, and Mark. When Dr. Čapek conducted his flower communion in Prague, he would say this proverb as he consecrated the flowers. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship. But may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in this world.
And before we begin our flower service, I'm going to say a couple words, but one of the things I'm going to ask us to do is to once again thank our choir, our music and technical director, Mark Tuning, and our tech staff, because that was amazing camera and sound work there, folks. Thank you. And in case you didn't notice, it decided to rain this morning, so they had to rush around and bring everything inside, so we're just going to thank them today. When Čapek designed this service, his idea was that all the flowers would be held in a single vase. So any of you potters out there want to, have an aspiration for next year, we'll work on it. But he wanted to do that because the large shared vase would represent the shared life we have, which is our largest hope. And I want us to hold that spirit as we partake in this today. Čapek brought this message to a newly formed nation, Czechoslovakia, at a time when there was great uncertainty in those lands. Perhaps we can understand the mix of emotions that people who were part of this first ritual held as we sit here this particular year. And in that spirit, I want to say, as part of our introduction, Happy Pride Month to everyone who celebrates it, because it's really important this year to celebrate that. And as you move in a few moments to select your flowers, make sure you look at the people around you and make sure you remember joy, because this ritual was designed to speak to what is good and even great in the human spirit, which it is easy to forget some days. And so let us please remember, as we partake in this ritual, to remember our power to act and to claim our truths. In Čapek's time, just like in ours, a time of openness, unprecedented openness and freedom, was just opposed in intention with frightening levels of anger and reactivity against it. That openness was like affirming more people, or the idea of religious freedom. It was starting to affirm women. Čapek's wife, Maya, would go on to become a minister in her own right. The people who celebrated this openness did not cause the reaction. It was the system itself that did that, and a lot of complicated dynamics. But the ceremony was designed to hold both, to hold the hard feelings and also to hold the joy and the beauty. He knew that together we could make more sense, more good hearts and minds understand more than just a single mind and heart, no matter how talented. So as he wrote in the service in 1939, when he redid it, he said, "At a time of great sadness for my nation, I designed this. I wish that it might spread a few rays of suns to the wounds of the heart. As we gather today, let it be with the goal of offering healing to ourselves and to others." As we celebrate today, let us remember that what we do not know is how we might be seeds to one another. Part of this service is we move in silence together, and the stirring of our hearts meets the stirrings of another heart. And as you move today, remember it's about the faces and the power of our hearts and minds to meet and help one another recognize beauty and joy. I want to say that we should take our time. It is a movement meditation, and we have flowers in our Borton Hall as well. And we're going to start first with those who could not join us, who sent in a picture of themselves. Thank you for taking the time to participate in this way. And then we'll start at the front, where our choir is seated, because they always go last, usually. So this is wonderful that we can honor them in this way. Let us enter into this time-honored ceremony together.
Let's sing together. Do we have the words? Color and fragrance, magical rhythm, sweet changing music will change us with them. Life within life, inner light gently glowing. Lovely you seem to be, God's vision growing. Oh, starry heavens, worlds of all splendor, suns without number, new life engender, wheel in a wheel, with the light brightly glowing, moving in harmony, God's vision growing. Handful of pebbles, high mountain passes, depths of the ocean, dew on the grasses, great things and small, with the light gently glowing, born of the wordless song, God's vision growing. Delicate beings, lace wing and sparrow, in field and forest, clover and yarrow, life greeting life, with the light brightly glowing. What are too small to be, God's vision growing. In human eyes burns the soul of living, illumines altars of loving giving. Greeting we meet, seeing light brightly glowing, share in a greater life, God's vision growing, shaper of all things, to us you've given, how a chance to keep here on earth a heaven, moving in harmony. gently glowing. May we be gratefully God's vision growing. May we be gratefully God's vision growing.
The words of Norbert Chopek. Let us celebrate the hidden cry for harmony with the infinite in every soul. Every person is an embodiment of God, and in every one of us, God struggles for higher expression.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit. Let's sing our closing song. Come and go with me. 10:18 in the teal book. Words will be on your screen. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. In that land, there'll be singing in that land. with me. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound.
Before we extinguish our chalice, just a friendly reminder that our meeting today is virtual, and we still welcome you to share ice cream with us after today for Tristan. Yeah. Right? Ice cream, good music. And now I'm going to ask our chalice to be extinguished with the words from Norbert Čapek, who, though faced the brutality of the Dachau concentration camps of World War II and could have easily uttered the phrase, my God, why have you forsaken me?" instead left us with these hope-filled words. "It is worthwhile to live and fight courageously for sacred ideals. O blow ye evil winds into my body's fire. My soul you will never unravel. Even though disappointed 1,000 times or fallen in fight, and everything would worthless seem, I have lived amidst eternity. Be grateful, my soul. My life was worth living. Those who are pressed from all sides but remain victorious in spirit are welcomed into the choir of heroes. Those who overcome the fetters, giving wing to the mind, are entering into the golden age of the victorious."
Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2.